What kind of super student will you be? Welcome, 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 welcome to L.I.F.T tutoring. To L.I.F.T tutoring. Welcome to another video by L.I.F.T tutoring. Love, instruction, foundation, teaching. Kindergarten readiness. What kind of super student are you? Welcome to L.I.F.T tutoring. Now I want to take a look at some more advanced writing. So this is from one of my students who came in with a good bit of writing knowledge and a writing capability. And as you can see as you will be able to see for some of these examples, this particular student was able to be pushed further and started to get into something that you might only regularly see in first grade. So the very first stages of the student's writing, you can tell that they had an understanding of pictures, detailed pictures, and labeling, which we covered in a previous video. And they've even started to put letters within the margins because they're starting to understand that these words represent what's going on in the picture. After that, you can start to see that the concept of words is starting to get a little bit more defined and nuanced, but there's no spacing yet. I encourage that the children continue to keep writing, and I'm not jumping on them for something like spacing this early on, only because of the fact that I'd rather a child start to develop a love for writing than to micromanage their writing right out the gate. So you can see that there's understanding of where words go and how they fit together on a page, but we haven't hit spacing yet. Now in these particular examples, you can see that the pictures are very detailed, and there is labeling, and there is some wonderful phonemic spelling, being able to spell the words just like the student hears them. And you can start to see that almost naturally the student is getting more confident in their penmanship as well. So we still haven't really jumped on the fact that the spacing isn't there, and you notice too that the words themselves almost seem like they're all capital letters, even though there's some that are lowercase. As spacing begins to start, you see that it's kind of, you can see it in chunks and it's happening, but it's not happening as consistently. And then something interesting happens for the more advanced students. They begin to want to write so much that they actually start writing without putting a picture. And this is something I encourage, because I always say this is what you're going to be doing in first grade. You're going to be writing and having details, and you're not necessarily going to have a picture, and they just feel so wonderful about that. But obviously they can still have a picture if they want to. Now this is something that you'll see more advanced writers start to do early on, because it usually happens a little bit later in the year. But maybe this writing was around, if I'm not mistaken, around mid-year, where there was a lot of repetition. So the student knew exactly what they wanted to say. They knew how to space it. They knew how to spell the word. So what they did is they said the same thing over and over again. This usually comes in the form of something like I like, or I got, or I got, or I have. And this is to be praised, and the student is showing that they want to actually write to the bottom of the page, and they're not just repeating it over and over again to get to the bottom of the page. They feel a sense of accomplishment when they do it. Next, with this particular student, you had a strong command of sight words. So once I realized that this student really was going forward with their sight words, I was always holding them accountable for their sight words and spelling them correctly. And as you can see, their writing got more refined. The margins got more, they the margin, the words, the letters themselves got more solidified inside the margins, and everything started to become more and more clear. Now, this is only halfway through the year, and you can see that the writing is very clear. You could read it without having to, dig through what it is they're trying to say. And eventually, they're able to write across 2 pages and make, and around March, they're able to make full sentences and stories that connect to one another on 2 different pages, which is amazing. And then, lastly, by the end of the year, you can just see how we've progressed from being too big within the margins, understanding what writing entailed, to now being able to have stamina to write all the way towards the end, and to start to develop coherent stories that make sense and the sentences are well put together. I hope this has helped you realize what a more advanced student in kindergarten would look like, and remember to like and subscribe for more videos that can help your child with kindergarten readiness and help develop a love for lifelong learning. We'll see you in the next video. We're not sponsored by Marvel, but our program is pretty marvelous. Kindergarten Readiness. Like and subscribe.